Devlog number 20. Who wants to hear about menus and maps some more? No one. Not me, certainly. But that's where I am. Yeah, so I just kind of have to keep on chipping away at the same things I've been working on until they feel right. Things don't feel right yet, but they're getting closer. So first thing you might notice here on this screen is New Game and Continue are gone. They're just replaced by a single Play button. Because I realized New Game and Continue just didn't make any sense here. You do your state management over here. I have the rollover states working for these now, by the way. That took way more effort than it should have, but I don't want to talk about it. It's done. It works. It's fine. They work here too, where they didn't previously. I hadn't noticed, but no, they were broken there. Now they're fixed. Also got this... oh dear. Well, it kind of works. So yeah, if I'm messing with my mouse and my gamepad at the same time, it's better than it was. Yeah, it's about as good as it's going to get. Okay, it's fine. Right, anyway. So I fixed up a bunch of stuff that had bothered me last time. Not all of it. I do actually want to reset this. I'm surprised it kept my state. I thought I changed my save file format in a way that would be incompatible, but maybe not in this particular... Okay, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Anyway, yeah, so unlock system is where most of my attention was. I did replace this... Ooh. Whoa, cursor. Are you... Yeah, that made sense. I think. Right, anyway. So a bunch of little things have changed here. I made these tiles just a little bit bigger. I didn't actually change the amount of available space. I tried making them a whole lot bigger and it looked surprisingly terrible. That's not the scenario I want. What are you? Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. I guess I added you since last time. I had forgotten I'd done that. I know why. That's right. I added that because... So challenge unlocks are a thing now. I have icons for this. This is the encounter icon. It's not the best, but it's there. Why does it look like that? I got something weird going on in here. There's like misplaced pixels. Okay, I need to take a closer look at that. Anyway, yeah, so challenges now can be unlocked by other things. Challenge 1 is locked by encounter 2, encounter... So a thing about this whole unlock chain system is like, so my cursor is on challenge 2. I want to know how to get to that. I press the accept button. It takes me here. So I need challenge 1 to unlock. Accept button. I go here. Press the button, press the button, press the button, press the button, press the button. Just keep pressing the button, and eventually you'll start the thing that is at the end of the chain that you can actually interact with. So I'm just trying really hard to think about things like that. Like, you know, interactions with this menu. I want the default option to always be the one you're most likely to want, and the fewest clicks to take you where you're going to want to be. This screen does not follow that rule. Like, for example, this move option really needs to go over to the right of all the other options. So wait can be the default, that's fine, but then, like, the most likely thing you're going to want should be here. Move is the least likely thing you're going to want, so it should be all the way over here. However, wherever the end of this list is. My UI stress test needs to add a champion with, like, 50 possible actions, so this would go off the edge, and then figure out how to deal with that. Okay. I have too many things in progress. Like, I start on an aspect of this game and just leave it kind of half-finished, waiting for me to come back to it. And so kind of the state that I'm in right now, the reason I've been seemingly stuck in the same spot for so long is just because of all the little unfinished things that I've left. I'm like cleaning up all the little messes I've made for myself until the screen actually feels right and works. It bothers me that I can steer left to go over here, but then if I steer right, I don't go back to that, I go over to that. I have to steer up to get back to the thing, and I don't know what to do about that. Anyway, let's not talk about things that are bothering me. Let's talk about things that are better than they were, because I've improved a whole bunch of stuff. So, right, unlock system is fleshed out better. I just want to look at this. So with larger map tiles, they're larger by like 2 pixels, 4 pixels, something like that. They still fit in this space. The problem is when I made them a lot larger, the frame was too square and the text was too... Why does this look so strange? What am I seeing here? an optical illusion. It looks fine. It's just something about the colors make like this side of the black look thinner than this. But it's just the angle I'm viewing. This is so weird. Okay, I can't show what I'm... If I lean around my microphone and look straight on at the screen, this looks like the same thickness as this. But from where the microphone is, this looks thinner. That's so weird. Anyway. Oh boy, I'm so off track here. All right, I have notes. Let me get back to where I was. Right, so... New Game and Continue did the same thing. I decided they would always do the same thing, so I just replaced them with a single button. If there's state management to do with like your save file and stuff, oh right, this cursor goes away when I switch to gamepad mode now, and whatever it was over unhighlights itself. So if I move the cursor again, that takes over. If I press the gamepad, that takes over. So that all works great. I want test scenario. Okay. So, right, unlock system, a little more fleshed out. Challenge unlocks are in now. They work properly. They didn't before. I rearranged this a little bit better to make more sense. The encounter preview now. So right, this icon is no longer a question mark. It says new instead. That could cause me some problems down the road, like say if I wanted to localize this game into other languages. I'm not currently thinking about that though. I'll deal with that if I ever decide to do such a thing. So yeah, the icon shows up here now on the encounter preview. That's what I call this little window that shows up. This thing behaves a little better. There's no dead zone in between things for like rolling over it anymore. It just sort of extends out a little bit. So that's fine. The little highlight around the thing I've rolled over is a bit more visible. Anyway, a lot of little tweaks like that. We don't have to go through every single one of those. It's not very visible on the yellow, so I should do something about it. In fact, it's completely invisible. Oh, this color doesn't work with my current highlight system. Well, that's something I need to think about. Anyway, right, so unlock system. One of the big things I really wanted, oh yeah, so this shows a preview. It shows the name, since you can't actually see the name here, just a number. It shows the name, it shows that it's locked, shows a lock icon. Doesn't show you who you'll be fighting down here. Now I did make this. Pay attention to, oh by the way, this is new. So if you don't want to see those transitions, you can just get rid of them. I had this thing going on where like I had to disable input during this slide transition. Like if I mash the button right now, you know, I was hitting a whole bunch. It has to wait until the transition is complete to actually respond. I didn't like that entirely. The compromise I have is if you want complete responsiveness, then you can just turn this off and, you know, it just goes instantly. So like I can go that fast with that. But with animations on it, it has to wait just so things make sense. And, you know, if you don't want to see things fly all over the screen all the time, you can do that. There's an option for that now. Right, but the complete information checkbox, which again, I've talked about this a few times. Eventually this will probably be multiple levels of information completeness. Right now it's just one Boolean. I'll get there. Anyway, so this will actually show you who you can fight in locked encounters if you have it checked. Doesn't show you much about them, so you know, there's more. I don't have a way to inspect these because like this menu where you could... Actually, you can't look at the encounter stuff here. All you can do is start it and look at the rewards. Yeah, but that menu gets replaced with the unlock menu, so yeah, something else needs to happen there eventually. Anyway, but the thing I really want to show here... So I was talking about having an animation for seeing things unlock. I spent actually a whole bunch of time on it, and I'm pretty satisfied with it. It's not completely perfect. Let's just do this encounter, and I'll show you what it looks like now. I'm pretty happy with it. I might make some small tweaks, but it's not bad right now, I think. So this standard stuff, too many clicks here, I know, don't worry about it. That's just how it is. Oh, I added the, you know, the UI swooshy transitions to this screen and this screen, so those at least move around the way the others do, so it's not as jarringly different. So that's fine. This screen hasn't gotten much attention yet. Yeah, sure, it looks kind of like sunset here. That's about all I've done of consequence on this screen. Alright, so I'm going to go back to this screen, so watch. that's my unlock animation. So the first thing that came to mind when I looked at, what this looks like and thought, okay, what would it look like for this to unlock? Well, there's a padlock here. Maybe I could have it open. I'll show you that animation again in a moment, but let me show you something about how it was built. So I thought maybe I could have that padlock open. It's awfully small, but even though it's small, I think it could be meaningful for it to move around. So the first thing I did was I just took this little padlock graphic that I was using, made a bunch of copies of it, and did the most basic obvious thing of sliding the thing up, rotating it around. And I tried just putting this sequence of animations into the game as it was. I can probably actually simulate this. Let's see. I can hack a thing in. If I go to Encounter Map Node View. This will not be great. Let me hold off on that for a minute. So yeah, I got to see the extreme importance of animation timing. So if I just take this sequence and play from here to here with the same amount of time spent on each frame, it looked just awful and limp and sad and just, I hated everything about it. But just by changing the timing so that this pops up very quickly, so moving from here to here is a tiny fraction of a second, then it holds on this frame for quite a while, then there's sort of a curve as it slides out here, like it starts rotating out fast, then ends slow. That improved it an incredible amount. So yeah, timing's very important. I also, so all of this is actually unused. I added a white frame around it to make it a lot more visible, because the locked ones here are, they look pretty similar to the background color, and it was hard to see like the little U shape of the padlock moving around over top of that color. So I could put the white outline here, but I don't want to highlight the ones that are locked. You can see that this is locked. You can tell what this is if you're looking at it from this state. But when it's in motion, you want to actually see it properly in motion. Right. I've just kind of memorized the inputs that I make to get this these encounters done. Having done this as many times as I have, I've convinced myself that I want to set this up such that a champion has equipment assigned to them, rather than like you put them in their party, they arrive naked, and then you have to equip them for every one of these things. So I'd come here and I'd just say like, hey warrior, you are my champion who always uses the sword. I'm going to equip that sword once, and no matter which encounter I take you to, when I place you on the board, you're going to have that sword equipped, for example. So that's a thing that I will change, but haven't gotten to yet because I'm not working on this screen right now. This awful menu, I hate it. It works, but I hate it. And I have ideas for how to fix it. Not focusing on that right now. Make a lot of noise, win the encounter, whatever, it's done. So let's go back here and see the unlock animation. This will unlock two things. So there we go. So that's sound effects. All my other sound effects are made with BFXer, just by combining raw waveforms of various shapes in various ways. For the unlock, I actually recorded a real padlock unlocking and pitched it down a whole lot. So it's running at like 25% speed compared to real time. That was pretty satisfying. I used an equalizer to boost the bass and do a bunch of stuff, and then overlaid a BFXer sound for the sort of zoom out the gray and replace with the colored version part of the animation. So yeah, then I synchronized up those animations so that they look nice and time with the sound, and I think it's pretty effective. So yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with that. I could reset this to see it again if I want to. Yeah, so it only plays the sound once, even if it's unlocking multiple things on the map at the same time. I thought of that, of course, because otherwise it'd be double volume if I just played it for each thing I unlocked. What happened? I didn't equip the potion. Made the wrong inputs. Oops. No, I did equip the potion. What did happen? I set my loop index like that. Whoops, I was doing the thing for the other thing. So unlock. Yeah, works pretty well. I'm pretty happy with that, even with the fairly small padlock icon. So yeah, I was talking about the size of these tiles. My intuition tells me they should be larger. I just need to spend more time trying to make them look nice larger. I think I just need to round the corners a little more and maybe have an alternate larger number font that would look right, and probably increase the size of these icons too, because it's just like a whole bunch of empty space if I just kind of stretch them as they are. Now that I can do. Okay, let's see what it looks like. Check it out. This is easy. This is one constant. It is it here? Probably. Yeah, that's the one. Oh, I have these separate width and height. Why? Because they're always square. Okay, they're not always square. So what if I set them to 40 and recompile? I think they were 24 before, and I changed to 28, and that was the difference since last time. So yeah, without changing anything else, just by changing that from 28 to 40. 40 feels like a good size. It just looks bad with my graphics the way they are. So let's see how this looks. Let me see if I can convince myself that this is the way to go. If I just, go back here and change. What graphics am I using for the frame? These? Yeah, these. Okay. So I just make this rounded corner a little larger. And then, yeah, have a separate, instead of a tiny number graphic, a much larger one. So that would look like this. Yeah, so big empty space, looks awful, but yeah, I think I am convinced. If I make these proportionally larger, the numbers proportionally larger, yeah, instead of just stretching out the empty space, that size is pretty good. Obviously, it won't work with this. Well, I can't even see any of those. They're all off the screen. Map test, how do you look? Yeah, okay, that's all the way down there. 40 might be a little larger than it should be. 36, 38, something around there. Let's see, so this could fit like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 vertically. 7's probably enough. Oh, and I had some thoughts. Right, somewhere in my data model, I do have a spot for a background image that's supposed to be drawn here, like behind these map tiles. That was one of those things that I sort of seemed like the obvious idea to do, but never felt right to me. I came to the realization that what I probably actually want is tiles. Like background graphical tiles you can lay out just to make like an ornamental map, have some kind of forest tile you lay out here, and it'll do like this auto tiling thing, so you get nice forest edges, transitions to, grass tiles, sand tiles, whatever. Just make it look like, you draw out a little landscape or whatever you want to depict here, instead of just having one big bitmap that's like annoying to handle in a lot of ways. It'd be a lot of data to come along with a scenario. I like these things to be very compact and tiny. And I don't know, I feel like it's more art pressure to have to come up with an entire however much by however much size bitmap for every map zone you want to put on here. So yeah, I think some kind of tile system where you can edit, the background of this is whatever, the background of this is whatever, and place them all over this entire rectangle. That's going to be nice. So that's kind of future plans for this. Yeah, so the other thing I wanted to try and see if I can show how it looked. Let's put this back to how it is, just because I haven't updated my other graphics. So if I'd go to here, yeah, this is how my animation times are input. It's a little complicated, but if I just set all these to 1, then every frame will have the same timing. Doesn't matter if I put the decimal in or not. The compiler will figure it out. Yeah, so my code here just adds up all of these and then divides them by the total length of the animation, and that's how it figures out the timing. So I just change the ratios until they're right. But yeah, let me see if I can demonstrate just how limp and sad it looked with without that animation timing in there, just so you can see why it's so important. Again, it'll be a little bit small, but, you know, I'll put it in full screen so you can see it as best you can. Oops. Select and... Ooh, okay, so I want to reset and then select. So I guess I would have to do it in that order. That makes sense. It's fine. So we'll do this again. No, don't move. Hold still and attack. That's what you do. Oops, no, don't reset. I could make an easier way to play the animation than actually solving this, but this is how I do it. So watch the animation. Interesting, with the sound effect, I mean, I can tell it doesn't line up with the sound, but honestly the sound adds enough feeling to it that it didn't look as terrible as it did before I had the sound in. Anyway, but let's not focus on that. Animation timing is great. It's extremely important. It can make a sad, limp, subpar animation actually look totally okay without changing anything else. Alright, yeah, so that's kind of where I am. Did I miss anything? Probably lots. Yes, I did. Okay, so another little feature I wanted to show. I did that. Oh, I think I fixed the crash that we'd been seeing a couple of times when going to the battle screen. It's intermittent, so I can't prove that I fixed it, but I found a thing that can crash there and fixed it. So I haven't seen it today, so I'll just have to wait and see if it shows up again. Right, so this should be back to good timing. Sure, I can do this again, that's fine. Oh, so many clicks. Have to re-equip you again every time. I could probably just stop at inputting the potion there. That'd be fine. You'd finish the rest of what you have to do. Make a lot of noise. I should just have like a skip to end of battle. Like just see the outcome without everything in between. Yeah, I could totally add a button there. Just finish battle instantly. Why not? If you don't need to see anything in between, just do that. Sure. That's fine. I'll totally add one of those, even if it's just temporary. There we go. Good timing, good animation, good sound. Okay, I'm happy with that. Right, yeah, one other little thing I added, just in case it's important to know, is like if you go here, you can now show this on the map. So like, where is Encounter 3? It's here. Where is Puzzle 1? It's here. And there we go. So yeah, just like if you needed to see something that was an unlock prerequisite. I have some state management wrong with unlocks and challenges. They don't quite work together right now. Working on it. So that didn't look right. So I wasn't really showing too much of that. But yeah, so you can show that on the map, just like with unlock prerequisites. All right, so you know, this is coming along. Like having a satisfactory unlock animation actually makes me feel a lot better about this, because I feel like that was a major thing with the feel of the screen. I don't have it doing it for like unlocking challenges, because you know, this is tucked away in a little pop-up here. You don't see it when you come to this screen. I guess you could play the animation as soon as you open this window. That's what I should do. Okay, I should definitely do that. Somehow. Something like that. Okay, yeah, so that's what I've been doing. Again, it's getting there. It's going to take as long as it's going to take. But I'm pretty happy with a lot of this. All right, I'll see you next time with more of this.